Welcome to the Word for Life podcast, a daily devotional covering the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
In Genesis chapter 10 and 11, we see something wonderful happening. Number one, the three sons of Noah had become so numerous. The whole chapter is full of names of the clans and tribes that came from Noah. And then we see that all these people, the whole world, spoke only one language. That was amazing. This means the whole world was like one close knit family. Everybody was one. There was peace all around. But in chapter 11, it all soon collapsed. How did that happen? You see, the people of the world had a brilliant idea. They wanted to build a tower, but not with stones, because stones would be difficult to be carried after a certain height. So they invented a new technology, bricks. Bricks can be easily carried to any heights, and that was easy to build a tower. Genesis 11:3 they said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Now, inventing bricks may sound a pretty basic invention for us today, but think about their time and age. That was a great invention and achievement. And so, they now plan to build a city and a tower, which should have been such a great project back then. Think of towers like Burj Khalifa in Dubai or Petronas in Malaysia. People look at them and are amazed because it's not easy to build them. These people had planned a great project. But the next verse, verse 4, points at something that went wrong with these people. The text says, "These people wanted to build a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens." These people wanted a tower that would be so tall that it would touch heaven. They thought, surprisingly, that they could reach heaven and even sit with God and become equal to God. This sounds like what happened in the Garden of Eden. The serpent told Eve, "Eat the fruit, and you will also become like God." Friends, it's so easy for humans today to fall into this very same temptation. We as believers need to be careful about our achievements because once we have made some significant achievements in life, we also may gain that confidence to think that we are like God. We can assume that we now have abilities to control our future and our world. We may think we are now like God. We possess great powers, and therefore we do not need God now because now nothing is impossible for us. And so many people today neglect and even reject God, and they think they don't need God and His authority over them. If you read Isaiah 14:13 to 15, Isaiah mentions how the king of Babylon thought that he will ascend to heaven and sit in the very throne of God. The Christian believer does not rebel against God's lordship or act like God. He lives every day depending not on his past achievements or new abilities, but on the grace of God. There was a reason why these people wanted to build this tower. In verse 4, they said, "Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." You see, the reason they wanted the tower is because they felt insecure about their future. They thought one day they may get scattered in the future. Now they had one language and were one people. They were very secure because of that. But they were afraid. One day they will all scatter. So, one big city and a tall tower, they thought, will secure their future. Friends, the world is an insecure place. Many things are not right in our lives. We too are scared of our future. But a Christian believer is not scared of his future because he believes that God is working all things together for good. Our hope is in God, not in what we do for our future. Verse 4 speaks also of how these people motivated each other to build such a daring, expensive tower. Do you know what they told each other? They said to each other, Let us build this tower so that we may make a name for ourselves. They told each other that this big tower project will bring them big fame and name. They thought they can make a big name for themselves by showing this tower to others. This ambition brought them all together to build this tower and put all their hard work in building such a massive building. Christian believers need to know that we always work for the glory of God. God has saved us so that we will be for the praise of His glory. Name and fame should not be the reason why we do things. Because, friends, name and fame is so temporary. Whatever we might achieve, people quickly forget us. What do we learn from this story? Today, many people have rejected God. They are a God to themselves. That does not mean they are happy without God. In fact, many are afraid and scared on the inside. They do a lot of things simply because they are afraid of the future. Even leaders of nations are scared. They think that other nations are their enemies and tell their people to build up their military, get more weapons, spend more and more money in things that are actually not needed. Adolf Hitler told his people that the Jewish race is against his people, and he united his country to fight a mindless war. Soon his own country got destroyed. Friends, when people act like God or reject God, they are only governed by anxiety and fear, like the people at Babel. Their worries keep them busy in unnecessary things. What happened at Babel happens all the time today. Because God is not the center of our community, after a while, it all scatters away. And that is what happened at Babel. God finally scattered them. You see, loving God, serving God, and doing His will needs to be the main thing for us.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Word for Life podcast.